Here's some pretty good looking bridge structure. A Montoya Elementary School, which is currently closed until April 3rd. Just over there in that direction is the concrete manufacturing facility that's been around for a long time. Sort of an interesting looking place there that kind of stands alone as you turn off into going into Tejeras Canyon. I hope I don't run into any wildlife or anything. Here's some beautiful cactus here on the ground. It's pretty soft ground right here where I'm walking. Trying not to step too harshly and hurt any of the wildlife, or I mean vegetation. I had to kind of know what was going on inside these little tunnels over here. And you're seeing it as I'm seeing it. It's a pretty interesting thing. This little area right here is as large as my apartment. This one is pretty interesting. It's a little more lower, where looks like a stream would actually run through here. I'm kind of surprised I don't see a lot of graffiti down here. There's really a lot of brush to go through. Oh goodness. You may be watching me, but I'm watching you too. Okay, pretty steep incline right here. I don't know if I can really make it up there with my camera in my hand and everything. Seems kind of like a risk. If I managed to get up there, I could probably see, you know, vehicles coming from both directions on I-40, eastbound and westbound. Gosh, that was a lot harder than I can even begin to explain. And I'm like twice as worried about going back down it. Going westbound into Albuquerque and eastbound out of Albuquerque. Trying to get on down the road here a little bit. All right, this could be proven to be maybe the world's most unstable camera mount that I put up here just to get us down the road. Might be something interesting to look at, or you might get seasick. Uh-oh. There we go. Don't let me down now, baby. Oh. Yeah. There she glows. Alright, this could be fun. Okay. Sign to say it tells us that there's a dead end over here. Okay, I do have a more stable camera, but I kind of just felt like maybe this would be more fun for some reason. Some kind of get to enjoy the bumps in the road with me. It says private drive. Do not enter over here. So for today, we're going to obey that notice. See if there's a good place for me to turn around. All right, That turn that we were just at there that says private drive is the way up to Carlito Springs. I'm not so sure that it's open to the public anymore though. Win some, you lose some. Speed limit right here is 35 miles an hour. Back when I was younger, it used to be more like 55 and people would go like 80. We're at mile marker 6 on Route 66, just in case anybody wants to know. When my dad lived up here and he was younger, they used to call Dead Man's Curve. He told me that they used to, as teenagers, come flying down the road in the middle of the night and turn off their headlights and just glide around the curve, you know, to kind of scare the girls and get them excited and all that good kind of stuff. Pulled over to the shoulder here so that some of these eager folks behind me could reclaim their place as king of the road. There he goes. Oh, now he's going slow. Gotta watch out for deers over here. People climbing off of the road too. And here it is, Dead Man's Curve. We're doing about 90 miles an hour. No, I'm just kidding. We're doing about 45 miles an hour. You gotta watch out for bicyclists over here. I feel for those guys. Sometimes they just jump in your way though. Gotta watch out. They're worse than the deer. There she is. That's Dead Man's Curve. Some pretty little houses out that way. I'll pull over and have a look at this. It's pretty windy over here. This place has got a lot of signs now that's kind of warning you to keep out. So I'm not going to venture too much into there. I'm going to observe whatever it is that they're saying. Just a few years back I came out to this place. It's the Mountain Lodge. It looks like the sign remains. Unfortunately, the motel that was on the premises is seemingly no longer here. There's some kind of bungalows up there. Kind of see the edge of the wood there, the columns going up the side, and the way that the weathered wood is. Ooh, I thought my truck was rolling down the road. The way that weathered wood is just kind of dipping down, and those sort of metal clamps clamping the sign to the pole are. Talk about a very vintage sign. When I was younger, they used to tell me there's only one way to rock. But as I got older, I realized that there were quite a few ways to rock. I got a little braver and decided to walk around to the front of the sign and have a little look. It was pretty close to the way the other side of the sign looks like. Just another perspective. This old tree here is pretty pleasant to look at. I don't know if that's gonna come across on the video, as well as, you know, just being here in person. Pretty nice to look at, though. Lots of cars coming down the road. I don't know if I picked a good spot to pull over at. You may just be able to make it out These cars that are parked in front of me more than likely belong to these hikers that are going up there, as you might be able to make out there in the distance. Here's a pretty nice open space down in here. Parts of the original Route 66 are supposed to remain down in that direction. The highway used to actually break off and kind of dip down from where it is here and around that way. I don't really know all the specifics of that. I know I've come here with my father a couple of times. I'm looking way down there and see some pieces of broken down concrete. It sure looked like what remains of portions of an old overpass, part of the old road and so on. Just now entering the village of Tijeras, the Scissors, elevation 6,300. Hey everybody, Lucky 7. In this video today we're going to be wandering, kind of zigzagging around to a couple places on 66, on Route 66. You know, things don't always stay the same as a lot of people know. It's pretty difficult to predict what the future holds. So a lot of the places that I intend to travel around to may not be around here anymore. I don't know if you can see this sign. There's a couple of different alcohol vendors pulling into the establishment over here, so I can only assume that somehow that Molly's is maybe still open. It was a stop that back when I used to ride a motorcycle back in the day, used to come by and stop in here and listen to live music and grab some beers and hang out with some friends and then grab a case to take home at the end, of the day. Pretty cool place though. This place is kind of legendary. If you grew up in here in New Mexico and used to ever get your kicks on Route 66. I used to come over here when I was a younger kid all the time. No shirt, no shoes, no service. We got a schedule of events for March 2020, so things must be going pretty well over here still. Everything's kind of behind bars over here right now. There's the presumably that's the entranceway into the package liquors portion. And there's the signage that can be seen from the road. Look at this vintage sign. Lounge. Molly's. So, back in the day when this place opened up, I think it was an Italian lady that, I can't remember her name. Like if I can find some vintage pictures of all this cool stuff that, I kind of passed by or whatever, I'll plug them in at the end of the video. But from what I know about Molly's, was opened by an Italian immigrant or daughter of, or maybe you know the story about that. Or maybe I'm just way off base, I don't know. Somebody out there has to know what the story of Molly's is. I know I've threw back a few beers in my day over here, or more than a few. So, right now I'm walking over here on 66, coming up to this intersection behind me now. That's New Mexico 217. And back in the day, I had some friends that used to live over here, Wayne and James and Neil. And we used to go up to their house just about every night, you know, during the time I was around 18 or 19 years old, and party and drink, kind of away from the city. They had a big, like, 2-story house that we could rappel off of the side of for practice. And I remember I had really long hair, and I got my hair caught in the figure 8. If you know what that is, it's like a little rig that you use to, you know, it's part of the gear to rappel down the side of a mountain. But we were some smart guys, and we decided to rappel off at the side of my friend's house. Anyway, just over here at this turnout, there used to be a junkyard. And man, there must have been some really old cars back in there back in the day, and it doesn't look like it's there anymore. You know, another thing is I bought a car that was right here. It was this empty lot on this little corner of 217 and Route 66. There was an empty lot here, and I bought this really crappy old 1980 Chevy Camaro with T-tops, and man, it just from the moment that I bought it, I think I paid like $800 for it or something, maybe $900, and it was busted up, but you know, it overheated and all that kind of stuff. But girls sure did seem to like it. It was a T-top and stuff. It's a pretty cool car. Pretty cool memories from that car. Yeah, so right in here used to be that salvage yard over here on 217. I don't remember the name of it. Maybe somebody here that watches this video would be kind enough to holler out in the comments what the name of the thing that used to be here was. It was a salvage yard. Looks like they have like a little old school washing machine, and sort of a store kind of looking thing with a Coca-Cola sign, a picnic table. It's kind of a neat thing that they did there. But this used to be a salvage yard back in the day, and used to have like all kinds of Buicks and Fords and different kinds of old trucks and stuff that were, somebody must have made a fortune off of that stuff, I imagine. There's some cool old gas pumps over there. Pretty neat thing to look at. I'm over here across the street from this Route 66 travel center. It's a kind of gas station over there on the right. And across the way, I came across this empty and abandoned kind of parking lot. And I should probably know what was here once upon a time, but it just kind of escapes me right now. Oh, there's some bottles of something there. Probably something gross. It's another place where the land is, nature's kind of taking back the land or whatever. It's kind of cool. There's some kind of unirack or something that was probably there to hold up some kind of signage. There's definitely got to be some strong winds that come through here. I mean, I can feel them right now, but definitely some strong winds to take over these lampposts. Look at this one over here. It took the whole concrete. Kind of uprooted the whole concrete, you know, pillar that was holding it down. I better not park here. Okay. This little piece of foundation kind of gives a little bit of details about what was here. More than likely, it says the NMDOT, that's New Mexico Department of Transportation, will not be responsible for damaged or stolen property. Park at your own risk. So I suppose that means that this was probably like a rest stop or something. Once upon a time, people to pull in and use the bathroom or something. I don't know. These little places where something was welded on, kind of telling me a story here. I don't know what they're trying to say. Definitely was something in here. Probably a little bit of something to put you in the shade. Seems like this was a rest area, almost certainly. This interesting area over here sort of has all these little concrete barriers. Little rectangular concrete barriers. And then there's this sign over here that says material on the gate. M-A-T-E-R-I-A-L, material. Huh. And it's gated off. Goes down into seemingly nothing over here. But over this hillside, you've got this really amazing view. And a couch. A picturesque, if you will, sort of area down there. Just people living the simple life, I suppose. Just open areas down there. A friend of mine and I think used to come shooting back in here before there were so many houses back in this area. Used to be able to come and shoot down in here, rifles, you know, that kind of stuff. Some really great big rocks over here and this interesting rock wall formation. I'll walk around the other side of it so you can get a gander at what that looks like. There's a bottle of hand sanitizer. Somebody's probably missing that right about now. Walking along the other side of this partition over here. Looks like there's a place where there was a sign for something. They probably had some kind of roadside business going on here once upon a time. Hard to say when that was. Don't stop. Here's kind of an even better view of what's going down in this valley over here. You know, I'm not going to say where I'm at because I respect where these people live and so on, you know. But that looks like a pretty sweet thing that they got going on there. See a barn over there in the distance? It's like a big shed that looks like a barn. But it's a pretty beautiful view right here from where I'm standing. Jesus was here. Oh, wait a minute. Jesus is here. I like kind of how that telephone power line in the back is in the shape of a cross. And then right here you see Jesus kind of painted into the rock. Amen. I don't think they're kidding around. On the other side of that area there's probably a pretty high wall. I'm going to stick my camera over the fence here. There's some of this reverse barbed wire. Let's see if I can see what's over the other side. I don't know if you got to see what was over there. I imagine it's a pretty steep drop off though. I've come across a lot of those over here, pretty steep drop offs. Pretty wild. Danger! Looks like there's a really huge quarry there. Quarry. Just saw something run down the hillside. There's a bunch of barrels down there. No, I don't know. I see one barrel. It's a chemical drop. Here's a phone booth. Oh, look at that. This one looks like it's seen better days. It's kind of perched away over here. That's pretty cool. I wonder how long it's been since that thing has been working. There's sort of a Simpsons sticker plaqued on there. I don't know what that is. Somebody's cool sticker that they plaqued. A little bit of graffiti. People who like to look at graffiti. Somebody was generous and left some change out here. That's pretty cool. Wish I had a little something to leave there to go along with it. There's some really great big signage. Looks like it goes over here to this residence now. I think that was like a motor lodge or something. Now it says the Millers. Wraps it up for this video. I think it's getting a little breezy out here. It's cooling off quite a bit. I'm at the junction here, kind of a bridge that goes over I-40, and it's on Route 66. A lot of motorcycles laid down over here, I remember, and I almost laid down a couple of my motorcycles a few years ago, maybe a little over 10 years ago, back when I used to do quite a bit of riding. And kind of a dangerous place to cruise through. A lot of people kind of speed through here sometimes. Over here behind me in the distance, there's a couple of crosses up on the top of this hill. It's kind of neat to look at when you're passing by. A little on-ramp that takes you onto I-40. Route 66 is definitely a pretty cool place to visit. You see a little bit more than you would see if you were just driving down the regular interstate and so on. I encourage anybody who, around the country, but anybody who lives here in Albuquerque too, to kind of venture along this way. I think in the next couple of videos, sometime I'll take you down maybe North 14 or over up towards Madrid. Madrid, as some people like to call it. I've been out there several times. I used to ride a motorcycle out that way, but pretty cool area. There's some folks up here that like to park. It's hard to see, but in the parking lot beyond me over there, there's a lot of people parking so that they can go hiking up these rocks over here. I can see some people way up and hanging off of the side of these giant rocks. They got a lot more courage than I do. Anyway, a lot of stuff is happening and unfolding in these last few days here. Kind of feels very surreal to me. It feels like I'm living in some kind of dream, or maybe it's a nightmare, I don't know. You guys probably feel the same way. I know I'm a pretty anxious person as it is. I feel calm for the most part. I feel like, this is gonna sound silly, maybe to some folks out there, but I feel like a lot of stuff is in God's hands. I feel like we're all gonna get past kind of some of the crazy stuff that's going on. Wanted to encourage everybody out there that who's kind of shut in the house because of the recent circumstances or situations or whatever. Get out there if you live by some less, densely populated parts of the country, like I'm fortunate to, and get out there and take your cell phone, take your family, and go see some of these places. It's a pretty good time. We're gonna get through this, you guys, and God bless you. Just a word of encouragement, not trying to be preachy or any kind of thing, but I sure do love you guys. All the best for you, and all the best for your family. And I love you guys. Take care.